Hey, how's it going? Rich from Elk Endeavors. Hey, thank you very much for visiting the channel and thank you very much for taking a look at my video. I'm really excited to talk to you about affiliate marketing inspiration. And I'm subtitling this Success Leaves Clues, okay? And now this is all stuff that I learned in 2019. Prior to 2019, I started affiliate marketing in February, and I had never heard of some of these concepts. There's one that I'll talk about at the beginning that I had heard of, but I never really thought about it in seriously. But I'm going to be talking about the five most inspirational passages and ideas that really impacted me through 2019, and they're gonna help impact you through the start of your 2020. So before we get started, I thought I saw the video. So I just do some YouTube, some logistical stuff. So if you're getting value out of this video, okay, please subscribe to the channel. Smash the notification bell so you know when I put videos out, which is going to be now every Tuesday and Friday. You can expect a video from me. So every Tuesday and Friday. I'm not sure what time yet, but that's what I'm going to be doing, Tuesday and Friday. But make sure you hit the notification bell for every single video because I probably will be putting things out as I see fit and as they come to me. And if I can't wait till Friday or Monday Tuesday, I'll put them out when I have them. So make sure you hit the notification bell. Drop me a comment if you like what I'm doing. I'm gonna do a poll at the end to see what passage or what idea will help you through 2020 the most. And make sure you watch until the end. Okay. So first one I wanted to talk about was your past does not equal your future. Okay. And Tony Robbins said this. Now, this is one of those quotes where pretty much everyone said it, right? There's one, it's like when someone says to you, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason is one of those that drives me crazy because no one ever says that when things go good, right? No one says, oh, you won the lottery, everything happens for a reason. It's always like, oh, you lost the mortgage on your house. Oh, well, everything happens for a reason. I happen to believe that because I've had experiences where people have said that. But in that moment, you don't want to hear it. At any rate, I digress. The idea that your past doesn't equal your future never really occurred to me in the way that it's now occurring to me in 2020, right? So when you're talking about what I've done in the past and the way that I've lived my life in the past, which is really good. I'm not saying that I did anything wrong or that I'm embarrassed about anything. I love my past. And I wouldn't change my past, but my past doesn't equal my future, okay? And there's the things that I'm doing in my business that I'm trying to change things from my past that will benefit me in the future financially, as a business person. All these things that I'm doing will take me into a different future than I expected myself to have, even the beginning of 2019. So that's something that I think is really important. All right, so Napoleon Hill. I talked about Napoleon Hill quite a bit. He wrote Think and Grow Rich, and one of his things that he says, and I'm looking down at my screen here, controlled attention can be likened to a gardener who keeps his fertile garden spot cleared of weeds so that he can make it yield edible fruits. Okay, so what that means is that you're kind of constantly looking at what you've got in your garden. If you've planted a garden, right? All through last year, I was planting seeds. All through last year, I was learning things and discovering things and trying things and testing things. And I learned from all that. And I started making a little money and I started doing, started being successful, started seeing success, both financially, but especially personally, right? The first couple of months of this it was all personal growth. And it's still a lot of personal growth. And that's something that I'll never stop, right? That's what I've learned is that, and I've always been a sort of a lifelong learner, but personal growth is really important. But if you get back to the fertile garden, if you plant your garden and you pay attention to it and you're standing there watering it and nothing's happening, but you're watering it and nothing's happening and you're watering it and nothing's happening. And finally, something's going to happen. Something's going to grow. Something's going to, the crop's going to be yielded and you're going to make what you reap what you sow, right? And that's a really important thing. So Napoleon Hill was talking about focusing on the one thing that you want, and making sure that you do everything you can to make that thing grow or that thing successful, and you will be successful. Okay, so that's number 4. All right, number 3. This is Bob Proctor now talking. Okay, he talked, and this is again, the subconscious mind is Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Maxwell Marx. I have Maltz, I should say. I have a copy of Psycho-Cybernetics here. This is one of the most powerful books I've ever read. Definitely pick it up if you know want to. I read that over and over again in rotation with several other books. So Bob Proctor, his particular quote caught me the most, which was the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined, right? So if you imagine that you have a big, beautiful house, if that's what you want, or if you imagine you have the ability to, take your family on vacation and just spend money, not wildly, but just like be able to spend money, then that will happen. That will happen if you tell your subconscious mind that that is who you are and that is what you're about. Then that's what your subconscious mind will believe. Right? We're so conditioned, and this is very, very much Maxwell Maltz. We're so conditioned to think in the negative. So when you train your subconscious mind to think in the positive and think that it can do something and know that it can do something, then it will react in kind. And that's something that's really important. So you have to see yourself living in abundance, okay, and you will attract it. It always works. It works every time with every person, okay? That's what Bob Proctor says, but it's also what Napoleon Hill says, Earl Nightingale, Les Brown, all these people, they all say the same thing, that if you train your subconscious mind to believe something that you want, that you've already imagined, that's what will happen. So that's number 3. All right, number 2, Les Brown. Now, goals. I've talked about goals. You've heard me talk about goals. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, I mention goals all the time. Les Brown, I had to include Les Brown here because I'd never heard of any of these people except for Tony Robbins prior to February of 2019. But Les Brown is certainly one. I just love listening to Les Brown because he's just so inspiring. He's hilarious. His stories are amazing. And his story is amazing. So that's, so this is so goals, you can pretty much get a goal quote from anybody. But I wanted to use one, which is, your goals are the roadmaps that guide you and show you what is possible for your life. Okay. And then, I carry my goal cards everywhere. You've seen this heart that my daughter drew for me. Every time I talk about goals, I pull my goal cards out of my back pocket. Tonight I have him laying here because I knew I was going to be talking about him. Okay, so Les Brown, if you haven't heard about him, check him out. Go on YouTube, check him out. All right, so this last quote is the one that really stuck with me, right? And it really hit me hard when I first heard it. And it took me a couple times to really think, like, was that really what was said? And it was, right? It was really, really important. So this is George Bernard Shaw. This comes from Earl Nightingale's essay called "The Strangest Secret in the World." So if you haven't listened to that, look that up. That's on YouTube all over the place. "The Strangest Secret in the World." It's a half an hour, speech essay that he recorded on a record, and you can hear it. It's amazing. But George Bernard Shaw. He quotes George Bernard Shaw as saying, "People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are those who go out and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them." Right? That's how I'm not having to look at the screen because I know this quote by heart because I've listened to it and it's caught me so much. When you think about like my circumstances. In February 2019, and from years prior, I didn't like my circumstances. However, I didn't know that they could change. Like I didn't know I had the power to change them. I thought the world was acting on me, and it was. Like the world. Well, no, it wasn't. I believed that the world was acting on me. That this was my lot in life, which was a good lot. I'm not saying at all that I've had a terrible lot. I had a really good lot, right? And I still do. I'm very gracious, very thankful for what I have. However, I believe that I can do more. Like I believe that I can do more. I can do more for my family. I can do more for my friends. I can do more for my business. Everything. For everything I do, I can do more. I just didn't realize that it was possible. So when I think about my circumstances, I love my circumstances but I was struggling with them. Right now, I'm creating circumstances that I love even more, and just by working on myself and just by working on my psychology, these are things that are have really impacted me. So I've been able to take the circumstances that I had, and make them even better, and I'm going to continue to do that because now I know that I have the power to change my circumstances. Okay, so I'll ask you, which one of these 5 quotes do you think you most resonate with, right? Tony Robbins, your past does not equal your future. The one about the gardener who keeps control of their garden. The subconscious mind, is that something that you learned, or something hopefully that you learned from me maybe? Your goals, the one I constantly talk about every time I talk about goals. I'm bringing up my goal cards. I talk about goals all the time. Or the idea that you can change your circumstances. It's up to you to change your circumstances. If you want to change your circumstances, you're able to do that. You can decide, I don't want this anymore. I'm going to do something different and go for it. Okay, so tell me in the I'm putting a little poll up above. Tell me which one. It might say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you might have to scroll back, or I'll put them in the comments or whatever. But yeah, so take a look at that, and I'd love to see what your comments are. So now, finally, I wanted to leave you with a bonus, which this one I've just started. This goes back to Earl Nightingale and the strangest secret in the world. But this one really has impacted me as well, and I think it's a really important one to kind of end with. Okay, so people are this kind of like, this should upset you in a way that makes you do this, right? So this quote is gonna make you want to do this quote, right? It's gonna make you want to change your circumstances. People are where they are because that is exactly where they really want to be, whether they'll admit that or not, right? So if you, when you think about, where you are, and if you think you're unhappy with where you are, what he's saying is that that's exactly where you want to be. You want, and the examples that they give are like, if you are constantly complaining about the way your life is, you don't have enough money, or your family's not, happy, or whatever, then that's what you want, because otherwise you would change it, right? Otherwise you would go back and you would change your circumstances. You're where you are because that's exactly where you want to be. Okay, so right now it's interesting because I completely believe in this, and this has driven me to this, but I'm not exactly where I want to be. But I think now that I know that, now that I consciously know that, and I'm acting on my subconscious mind, I'm pushing toward changing my circumstances. Okay, so these two are sort of interchangeable. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. I really appreciate you being here, sticking with me to the end. Please, again, drop me a comment below. Let me know which one of these 5 comments is the one that really resonates with you. If you like what I've done here, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting videos out Tuesdays and Fridays, and then some random ones in between, because that's what I do. And I'm really excited to get started in January, and I can't wait to talk to you again on Tuesday. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.